September 1st, 2022, to order. Roll call, please.
Alderman Woods.
Here.
Alderman Sismarski.
Here.
Alderman Messina.
Here.
Alderman Jacob.
Here.
Alderman Currielli.
Here.
Alderman Catalano.
Here.
Alderman Ames.
Here.
And Mayor, please.
Here, I declare a quorum present. Please stand and join the Pledge of Allegiance. I need a motion to approve the minutes of August 18, 2022.
I'll make the motion.
Second. Any comments, questions, or corrections? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That passes. Next, do any citizens wish to be heard on matters not listed? I do have a couple. Ms. Kraus?
So, I wanted to follow up on my statement from August 18th, since one of the aldermen was not present. As elected officials, you are held to a higher standard. And what you say, how you say it, and how you react are examined by many places, people. And my friends call me Chicago girl. And since I'm not an elected official, when someone says something regarding me, I am going to respond. And as they would say, Chicago style. So, I have always been respectful in these meetings since the day I started coming to them, which was not very long ago, in May. So the statement that was made in reference to me on August 4th by an alderman was unwarranted and uncalled for. I think I'm owed a public apology since it was in the public. Now, I don't think I will get that, but it doesn't matter to me if any of you agree with my opinion or support of the Radcliffe Vocational Academy. It's my opinion, and I can advocate all I want outside of these walls for it. I'm very insulted by what was said, as you can tell by me bringing it up again. But I promise you tonight will be the last time that will be brought up. Other things may, but that particular instance. Now, I am not one to offer olive branches. That's not my style. I do Chicago style. I do funny branches. So I bought kind of a peace offering, a funny one, for Alderman Sismarski. And I would love for you to give it to him on my behalf, or I can come and hand it to him. So I can put this to rest. Because until I get my last say, it's just who I am. So, did you want to give it to him, or can I come up and give it to him?
Yeah, I mean, public comment is intended for you to make comments, so if you want to finish your comments, this is not related to or appropriate for public comment.
Okay. So, I'm done, but
Okay.
I do want him to have it. So if you're not going to give it to him, I'll
No,
take it
he'll
back,
get
and
it.
I'll give it to him when I walk out.
I'll take care of it.
Thank you.
Next, Dylan Orlick.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Dylan Orlick, and I'm pretty lucky. I am the face of a foster kid. People think all foster kids are bad kids without any proof. And what breaks my heart is people believe kids like me deserve to be in the situation they end up in. People don't ask to live without parental figures in their lives. Too many innocent kids are put into a position where their parents can't take care of them. My parents have learning disabilities, which makes it hard for them to take care of themselves, let alone me. It's not their fault that they were unequipped to raise me, but I got really lucky. At 16 years old, I moved in with my foster family 100 pounds heavier. I'm a graduate from Fenton High School's class of 2022, and in my time there, I was on the varsity football team, I had straight A's, and I was in countless after-school activities. I was on Fenton's speech team and qualified twice for state. The living environments a person is given can determine whether or not they are successful. I'm a foster kid. That doesn't make me a criminal. I don't do drugs or alcohol. I was a kid looking for a family, and not only do I have that now, but I also know who I am. There are 21,000 other kids like me still looking for a home, less than I was 2 years ago. The program at the Radcliffe Nursing Home can give foster kids hope, motivation, essential living skills, and a family. This program will not only give kids a place to stay, but it would also allow the seniors to share their knowledge. 60% of the residents at the Radcliffe get less than an hour of visiting a month. When we're left alone, it's easy to feel abandoned. It's easy to question what else you can do for the world. The residents at the Radcliffe go hand in hand with these kids looking for a real home. The seniors would be parental figures for these kids and give them guidance that they need to be successful. When asked about this program, 95% of the Radcliffe community was in favor of this program. This program will open up many job opportunities for foster kids, and it can allow them to develop budgeting skills, which is essential for the future. I wish all foster kids didn't have such a bad stigma. I was afraid to open up about being a foster kid. I didn't want to be seen as a monster because of my situation. I have a big heart, and I want to give back in any way I can. Not every story has a happy ending, but if my story can help someone else's, then I want the whole world to hear it. The foster care system saved my life, and DCFS showed me that not all superheroes wear capes. Hopefully, the city of Wooddale can wear one. Radcliffe can be a safe and welcoming home for so many kids. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, Eugene Wesley.
I just have a couple of questions. Helen's Restaurant on Irving Park Road, are we going to do something with that? There's 6 boarded up windows right now of wood. I mean, to me, that looks like a bad neighborhood coming down Irving Park Road, driving here, and I want to make Wooddale beautiful, but now we got boarded up windows on a restaurant. Second is Itasca Street. They've been out to look at it. When is it going to be resurfaced? I thought it was this year. Also on Itasca Street, there's a house with a fence down, with a pool in the backyard. It's been down for almost a month now, maybe 2 months. It's a safety issue for kids to get back there and fall in that pool. So those are the 3 items, and I would like a response back from someone from the city on what's the status on that down the line. Thank you.
Thank you.
Jeff, that's already, 2 of those items have been addressed. I'm just waiting on an answer.
Okay. Mike says it's the ones I called you on already. Okay. I have no written communiques. Under mayor's report, 1 item. Let me bring it up. Okay. National Payroll Week Proclamation. Whereas the American Payroll Association and its more than 20,000 members have launched a nationwide public awareness campaign that pays tribute to nearly 150 million people who work in the United States and the payroll professionals who support the American system by paying wages, reporting worker earnings, and withholding federal employment taxes. Whereas payroll professionals in Wooddale, Illinois play a key role in maintaining the economic health of Wooddale, carrying out such diverse tasks as paying into the unemployment insurance system, providing information for child support enforcement, and carrying out tax withholding, reporting, and depositing. And whereas payroll departments collectively spend more than $2.4 trillion annually complying with myriad federal and state wage and tax laws, and whereas payroll professionals play an increasingly important role in ensuring the economic security of American families by helping to identify non-custodial parents and making sure they comply with their child support mandates, and whereas the payroll professionals have become increasingly proactive in educating both the business community and the public at large about the payroll tax withholding systems, and whereas the payroll professionals meet regularly with federal and state officials to discuss both improving compliance with government procedures and how compliance can be achieved at less cost to both government and business. And whereas the week in which Labor Day falls has been proclaimed National Payroll Week, I hereby give additional support to the efforts of the people who work in Wooddale and of the payroll profession by proclaiming the first full week of September Payroll Week for this, Wooddale, Illinois. Next, City Manager's Report.
One item tonight, as you know, the city of Wooddale has already received roughly $3 million in grant funding for this next year's road program. The road program is scheduled to begin in the coming weeks. All work will be completed by late fall, and then the second phase of the road program will begin in the spring. It'll consist of roadway grinding, patching, resurfacing, curb and gutter removal and replacement, ADA enhancements, and some storm sewer improvements in certain locations. If residents are interested in the program to see if their street's getting done, they can go to wooddale.com construction section, and they can also sign up for alerts for construction as well. That concludes my report.
Okay, and just to add to that, was delayed because there was a strike with the local that handled the gravel pits, correct, Mr. Lang? Yes. And now they're off strike, and we have a schedule because I've had quite a few people ask me. And it'll be on the website, okay. Great. Next, no consent agenda, committee chair reports, planning and zoning, Alderman Woods.
No report, Mayor.
Thank you. Public health and safety, Alderman Sismarski.
No more report, Mayor. An ordinance declaring property owned by the city of Wooddale for surplus and purpose of selling.
Is that your motion?
That's my motion. Second.
We have a motion, second. Any questions on this? Roll call.
Alderman Ames.
Yes.
Alderman Catalano.
Yes.
Alderman Currielli.
Yes.
Alderman Jacob.
Yes.
Alderman Messina.
Yes.
Alderman Sismarski.
Yes.
Alderman Woods.
Yes.
And that passes.
End of my report, Mayor.
Thank you. Public Works, Alderman Messina.
I have three reports, Mayor.
Go ahead.
First, a resolution approving a permanent easement at 655 North Wooddale Road for the Wooddale Booster Station Drainage Improvement Project. That is my motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions on this one? Okay. Roll call, please.
Alderman Ames.
Yes.
Alderman Catalano.
Yes.
Alderman Currielli.
Yes.
Alderman Jacob.
Yes.
Alderman Messina.
Yes.
Alderman Sismarski.
Yes.
Alderman Woods.
Yes.
Okay, and that passes.
Next, a resolution approving an intergovernmental agreement between the City of Wooddale and Village of Bensonville for the resurfacing and maintenance of certain sections of Pine Avenue and Poplar Avenue. That would be my motion.
Second.
Okay, a motion and a second. Questions on this? Go ahead, Alderman Sismarski.
Yeah, those two fall in Ward 4. How are they're gonna patch half the street? I only have.
Well, so we did our section, and it looks like, I think this is the one, then Bensonville did theirs, and unfortunately, the piece right in the middle, right, it was never done. Is that the section?
So the both
Go ahead.
streets are under shared jurisdiction, as you mentioned, part of it's in Bensonville, part of it's in Wooddale. So the entire street is going to be resurfaced, and then Bensonville will pay the city for their half of the work.
Okay.
So it's a cost share for both of them.
Real quick, Alan, while we're out there, I think right around that area on Commercial, there's a piece where they did theirs, we stopped at ours. That should probably be done at the same time.
I will mention that, yeah, we ended at the edge of the city limits, and there was
Right.
a small section there between that and where Bensonville stopped resurfacing. We can
Yeah,
look to
so
adjust
if we
that.
got the guys out there, it's, about 100 feet or something, whatever it is.
Absolutely.
Excellent. No, forget it? Okay, any other questions? Roll call.
Alderman Ames.
Yes.
Alderman Catalano.
Yes.
Alderman Currielli.
Yes.
Alderman Jacob.
Yes.
Alderman Messina.
Yes.
Alderman Sismarski.
Yes.
Alderman Woods.
Yes.
And that passes.
And then finally, a resolution supporting the submission and execution of an Illinois Transportation Enhancement Program, ITEP, application and agreement between the City of Wooddale and the Illinois Department of Transportation. That would be my motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Alderman Sismarski. Questions on this one? Alderman Catalano?
Yeah, what's the estimated date of the start of this project?
Mr. Lang?
So the original intention was that this project would coincide with the bridge project, as this is an extension of that path that carries the bridge, which is slated for construction in 2024. If we are awarded funding before then, we could start on this later that as early as 2023.
Okay,
Go ahead, follow up.
And that's including the, we're trying to get additional funding as far as extending the trail all the way to Wooddale Road?
Correct, yeah. This
Go
is extension of the Salt Creek Greenway Trail from what would be the entrance of the Forest Preserve to Wooddale Road, and then extending the sidewalk to where it ends in front of Oak Brook Elementary School.
Okay, thanks.
Right, because when the bridge gets done, from Addison Road to the driveway is taken care of. We had to go for a separate one, but if we would have tried to tie them together, they probably would have held up the other grant, the other $3 million. Is that correct?
Correct.
Alderman Jacob?
By any chance, do we know what the cost it would be to extend the trail to Wooddale Road?
I don't
Mr.
have
Lang?
any cost estimates at this time. The funding is an 80-20 federal to local share, though, so 80% of the funding would be picked up by the federal.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, roll call.
Alderman Ames.
Yes.
Alderman Catalano.
Yes.
Alderman Currielli.
Yes.
Alderman Jacob.
Yes.
Alderman Messina.
Yes.
Alderman Sismarski. Alderman Woods.
Yes.
And that passes.
And that concludes my report, Mayor.
Thank you. Finance and Administration, Alderman Catalano?
No report, Mayor.
Thank you. Under other business, nothing under airport or stormwater at this time. Approval of list of bills, Alderman Catalano.
Yes, I'd like to entertain a motion to approve the list of bills for September 1st, 2022 in the amount of $474,330.24. That is my motion.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. Questions? Alderman Jacob.
Yeah, I have one, and I was talking to Brad about it. He said he was gonna talk to the chief, but we had rented some metal detectors for Prairie Fest for $1,790. Those, I mean, you could purchase brand new ones for $1,900. How many of those did we rent for the Prairie Fest?
I want to say we got like 4. Go ahead, Chief.
Yeah, so we did have 4 of them there. The ones that we utilized, I saw pricing in the $3,000 to $3,200 range. We did look at that, so. But as you remember, that was, there was short timing too after the incidents up in Highland Park that we made some adjustments a couple weeks before the fest started.
Go ahead, Alderman Jacob.
Would it make sense to look into purchasing for the future and storing them at Public Works, or now that we're gonna have a
Chief,
large
go
Public
ahead.
Works building?
Sure, possibly. We can do analysis on that, on, you know, life expectancy, all that kind of stuff, and see if it would be worth it, so. But they were well received, I think, overall.
Okay,
Thanks.
thank you.
Follow-up? Any other questions? Alderman Sismarski.
Yeah, it's not on the bills, but it's, Mr. Murphy and Mr. Loin. We had just want to add on the power outages that were happening, Jeff. It went all the way up to the stone, just so you know.
Yeah, I had contacted our rep. We're working on that.
I said commercial prior, and I said, well, just to let you know it was all the way up there.
All right, any other questions? Roll call.
I've got one,
Nope.
Mayor.
Yeah, sorry, I missed you. Tom.
Sir, on page 43, the water main lining, did we complete a punch list on that?
Mr. Lang.
The work that was to be completed by the contractor has been completed. There were some elements that we were gonna do in-house, including the concrete, landscaping restoration, and the street patching. The concrete has been completed, and we are still waiting on the street patching.
So that street
Go ahead,
patching,
follow up.
I'm sorry, that street patching where there's still an area that has to be completed, we're gonna take care of that in-house? You said?
Correct,
Mr.
either
Lang.
under our patching program, which is coming up, or we will do it in-house.
Okay, thank you.
Follow up?
No.
Any other questions? Roll call.
Alderman Ames.
Yes.
Alderman Catalano.
Yes.
Alderman Currielli.
Yes.
Alderman Jacob.
Yes.
Alderman, excuse me, Messina.
Yes.
Alderman Sismarski.
Yes.
Alderman Woods.
Yes.
And that passes. We have no executive session, no items to be referred. I do need a motion to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned.